Where am I?
Welcome to Fun Factory Gaming. Blades of Fire from Spanish developer Mercury Steam is the latest effort from the indie side of the industry that is set to challenge the perceptions that many still have about this industry. More specifically, about the scale of projects from these smaller studios. Weeks after Expedition 33 from French developer Sandfall Interactive drew great praise around the world, we now have yet another European developer getting people talking. Mainly for the way it manages to refresh existing concepts with its interpretation of the main mechanics and gameplay of already known experiences. This new intellectual property from a producer known for its Castlevania and Metroid games clearly shows their warrior and creative spirit.
Someone needs my help.
An iron axe, not a chance against my steel. You're never gonna save them! You're food for worm!
They took a risk on an action-adventure game with a very specific main mechanic that sets it apart from the popular Souls-like games, even though it uses some of their ideas.
Okay, time to go.
Blades of Fire is a game that feels like From Software games, where each enemy is a challenging duel that can defeat you, but there is no XP to gain to level up or lose when you are defeated. The fear of losing important items or XP is present in Blades of Fire, but connected to one of the main elements of the gameplay, the weapons. Mercury Steam has imagined a kind of Souls-like in which weapons are really the main element of the gameplay. This is what sets it apart from practically all other similar games.
Let's go inside. Barely eaten, kid.
I would have died if you hadn't showed up.
Yes. I was too late. Too late for your old friend.
You must be Aaron, right? Abbot Doran told me he saw you at Queen Neria's coronation.
That was a long time ago.
Abbot Doran said it was a miracle you were still alive. We were looking for you. He said that all my questions would be answered as soon as we found you. Now he's dead.
Aye. That he is.
He wanted me to give you this. Wouldn't even let me look at it. That's a relic of the Forger's Age. The last of the 7 hammers that forged the world, but... How? Who are you? Exactly.
Been a long, hard day, lad. You can sleep in the barn. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, Aaron. Tomorrow.
Welcome, Aaron Delira.
Where am I?
You stand in the Forge of the Gods.
What am I doing here?
You are now the bearer of a sacred hammer.
Who are you? And what do you want from me?
Forge your steel here, and prove yourself worthy.
Here you have to forge your own weapons and take care of them, since all the gameplay mechanics and design are centered around them. As Arundalira, you must use your sacred hammer to create weapons from steel, an incredibly rare thing since the Queen has turned all steel into stone, and there are no people left who can create weapons or manipulate steel.
Now use the anvil to return to your world.
Time to go, lad. I'm going to the palace. You can join me if you like.
The palace? What for?
I'm going to kill the Queen.
No one defies the Queen and lives. The Queen's steel will shatter you. There's no hope. Aaron? Are you still there?
Pack the ox, boy. Time to go.
On your journey to assassinate the Queen, you will pass through several locations, and everything you do will be centered around finding ways to forge new weapons or create more powerful versions of the ones you already know. Weapons are at the forefront of every aspect of Blades of Fire. If you die, you have to go and retrieve your weapon from the place where you lost it. Use causes wear and tear, and you have a limited number of times you can retrieve your weapon, which is related to your skill at the time of forging it.
This is the domain of the necromancer Acides. It's lord to the Queen's banner.
Never heard of him.
Abbot Doran and I passed through these lands on our way to yours. The creepy stories about ACDs. Kidnapped families, desecrated tombs. Don't even get started with bloodthirsty rich.
Look.
Those are...
The Queen's dogs. What you heard must have been true.
What do we do now?
There. Let's chat for a sec. Kid, what do you know about Acides?
That you mispronounce it. No, seriously, I don't know much. He was a notable man until he fell out of favour due to his affinity with thaumaturgy. He was buried alive in a magically sealed crypt, or so they say.
And now he's on the loose, thanks to the Queen. We cannot allow that.
I'm not able to do much about it.
Tell me, kid, what can you do that might prove useful on this adventure?
I can read and write in ancient Forger. I can observe and draw. I know history and science.
All right, I get the idea. I'll work out how to make use of you.
My erudition might compensate for your many and obvious shortcomings.
You stay away from combat, smart-ass, and perhaps you'll live to see another day.
I don't understand how the Queen was able to turn steel into stone. That's thaumaturgist magic. There aren't any tomes or masters who can teach that stuff anymore.
The how is irrelevant. The why is what worries me.
Well, sometimes people just change.
No, not that much.
Do you miss Abbot Doran?
Greatly, lad. He was more than a friend, really.
How so?
Despite his many duties at the King's court, he would always visit and spend time with my family. In many ways, he was very much part of it.
Same for me.
You need different types of weapons for specific enemies, as well as an effective use of each. The graphic quality often leaves something to be desired. There is a feeling that the controls lack refinement, and that the narrative is not implemented in a way that captivates. Different enemies require specific weapons, and you should pay close attention to the information associated with the locked crosshair to know which parts of the body you should hit. Using weapons that are not indicated or hitting points that are not highlighted in green wears out the weapon immensely. The damage caused is minimal, and the stamina bar quickly runs out with this useless behavior.
I hope my observations on the Queen's dogs are useful to you.
Well done, lad. I'll read them when I have a moment. Kid, what do you know about this place?
The abbot and I passed by here on our way to your cabin. There were no soldiers then. I got the impression it was a safe place to live.
Not anymore.
The Forge's Sea is to the south, not too far away. To the north, the Doyen Graves and the Iron Castle. To the west, the Crimson Fort.
I see Doran taught you well. You could prove useful to me yet, lad. Talk is over.
Forget it! There's no way into that damn swamp.
There has to be. Orders from the Queen. Find the old witch and slit her throat. If we don't, they'll slit ours.
What a miserable life!
Mercury Steam has gone to great lengths to make weapons the center of the experience, and you should be respectful of how you use and manage them. Defeating enemies will earn you resources to craft new weapons. Defeating a certain number of a specific type of enemy will earn you scrolls to craft new weapons. Discovering more valuable materials will eventually allow you to craft more powerful weapons. The gameplay loop focuses on the effective use of weapons, which is important to defeat enemies more quickly with less wear and tear on weapons, to avoid improving them quickly or having to create new ones too often, running the risk of running out of resources. Blades of Fire is yet another highly interesting moment for indie developers, more specifically for Spanish developer Mercury Steam. It's a game whose virtues allow it to go far beyond what would be expected, considering its weaknesses, and which stands out for its interpretation of well-established mechanics and designs. More than just directly copying From Software's Souls-like games, Blades of Fire mixes up the mechanics and manages to differentiate itself. And that's the end of this video. If you enjoy my work, please show your love by leaving a like and considering subscribing. As always, thank you for your support.